across the river into the hotter areas once we get some cash going. All right, so we go here. Somebody else is selling beds. Somebody else is selling beds. We've got a competitor, folks. Oh, you are not eating my lunch. You are not eating my lunch. Well, let me take a step back. Somebody else is manufacturing beds. But see, quality 50, quality 38. This is buy them out. Well, that is a viable option once you have enough money. We don't have enough money, but we can take some other steps. So we are purchasing our beds. Let me get the game speed up here. Oh yeah, it would help if I actually put sales units here. These are units that we actually sell to the general public now. So now we are offering our beds to the general public. Now, number of different considerations here. First off, even though he is offering beds for manufacture, nobody seems to be selling them yet. So he's potential competition. But let's take a look at how our bed is looking right now and what we can do to improve it and thus make it more attractive. So there, and this is kind of really drew me into the game. So there are three parts of a product that customers care about. They care about its price, they care about its quality rating on a scale of 1 to 100, and they care about its brand rating on a scale of 1 to 100. The brand rating is sort of like for example, let's say Coca-Cola. You hear Coca-Cola, you know Coca-Cola. You know the logo, you know the jingles. You could spot something on the shelf and say, "Oh, that's a Coke." That's you recognize that's a really high brand thing. Regardless of your opinion on Coca-Cola itself, you recognize the heck out of it. Compare that to, say, our RC Cola. Hands on how many people have ever heard of or seen or tasted an RC Cola? By the way, RC Cola is better. And that's because RC Cola doesn't advertise their brand at all. They just kind of exist and just sit quietly and humbly on supermarket shelves without, TV spots and Super Bowl ads and what have you. So that's sort of the listing of our brand. Now, the brand for ours is zero. We literally just launched the product, so no one's ever heard of it. But we can work on that. Now, the other component is quality, how good the thing is. So our bed is a quality 50. Now, how did we get that score? Well, it's made up of two different parts. The raw material quality, which is a 35 out of a 50, and production quality, which is 15 out of 50. Now, the raw material quality is where that goes back to... That goes back to here, where I was shopping around the various different timber deposits. That the quality of the timber will depend on will sort of dictate the raw material quality. The other component of that is the technology quality. How good are we from a technological point of view at making beds? And I'm not just talking about the just making your standard bed, but how good are we at putting in like the little bells and whistles and focus testing that and making more durable joints and making more comfortable this and better that. And if we product detail, trying to remember where all these different reports. Technology. Here we are. So everybody in the world starts out with a tech level of 30. And that's a tech level of 30 with the top tech. Somewhere in the world, somebody has the technology level at 100. So how good your product is a measure of your tech. It's a measure of your technology level compared to the top tech. If your current technology is the top tech, then you get a 100. You get all the points out of the production quality there. So researching your stuff is another way to go about it. Oh, one other thing regarding branding. There's three different brand strategies you can pursue here. You got a unique brand where each product has its own unique brand. You've got a range brand where you advertise groups of products that are all in the same class together. And then you've got a corporate brand, which is sort of like a conglomerate umbrella thing where everything is branded under your company. Now, the benefits to a corporate brand is that you basically only have to advertise one thing, and that basically advertises every one of your products. So whatever your brand rating for that one product is, the minute another product hits the market, it already has that brand rating. The problem is that when you have inconsistencies, people don't like it when your brand has two different products that are of vastly different quality. So, I mean, if all of if all your products are garbage, that's fine. But if you got like this top tier, product and then this other product in a different class that is completely garbage, but you market them together, people are going to lose trust in your brand, and that actually hurts your brand rating. On the flip side, the unique brand keeps all of your brands separate from each other, so that it doesn't matter how good or bad the other things are that you're selling, because you're all marketing them as different brands. The downside is you have to market them each individually, and everything has to have its own advertising budget. So you spend more on advertising, though it's easier to cultivate customer loyalty. Range brand is a happy medium between the two. So I'm going to go with range brand. Boom. You also want to decide this early because it gets rid of some of your other stuff. All right. So at the moment we are facing our local competitors, and that's part of that difficulty setting. How competent are your local competitors? This is what the local competition. Now, local competition sort of represent mom and pop shops, local businesses, non-corporate entities. They don't show up on the map. You can't buy them out. But they do directly compete against you. If there's unfilled market share that's not going to you or one of your main competitors, it's going to the locals. So here we are trying to dig out a share from the locals. Their overall rating is a 47 if you look at all these things. Also, each product has its own weight. For beds in this city, people care 36% about price, 43% about quality, 21% about brand. It can shift in different cities, but they generally follow a similar trend. They're not going to be too wildly different, but it can be important in certain markets. So here we can see we're charging $302, and they're only charging $239. That's part of our problem here. So let's undercut them by price. And now we're looking at an overall of a 60. That's good. Actually, that's a little too good. Let's 53. Inch it down. Generally, I like to shoot for about 10 points over. 56. Oh, what the hey? We'll go with 199. Big 199. 199. $200 bed. Get yours today. So now that we have an appreciable higher overall rating than our competition, our market share is going to start to grow. Not to mention, we can start advertising. But to do that, we need to pick an advertiser. Yes, I know. Our options here are television, newspapers, and radio. Welcome to the 90s, folks. Welcome to the 90s. Boy, our local radio station kind of sucks. The newspaper is pretty good, but it has its own sort of difficulties. But I think I might go with the newspaper. That's kind of a newspapery thing. Beds, so we'll go newspaper. We're not going to go spending crazy amounts. I think I'll do the $10,000 a month on that. We want to make sure we dig ourselves out here first. All right, so we're starting to sell more and more beds. We can see our market share on the graph here starting to grow. We just cracked our first month of profit. So our sales are churning away. The blue bars supply, red bars are demand. So the demand's not quite completely there for our beds, but it's starting to creep up. And it also means we're keeping up with demand. And everybody dives on my stocks. This is why I wanted to buy them early. Yeah, we got no one left from, nobody in this public shareholders is left. That's, yeah, it got all private investors just dove headfirst. Oh, and here's one of those random events. So sucks to be you. Oh, someone sold? And they bought again before I could pause. We need to, well, actually our cash isn't really stable just yet. So let's hold off on buying up our own stock. But if we see, once our cash stabilizes a little bit, we might want to buy up some of our stock just to secure it, because it'll get expensive to secure later on. Sell, sell, sell. Pause, pause, pause. Yes. Some foolish fools sold their shares of stock, and we will buy that back for ourselves. Now this is us, the company, buying our own stock back, not me, the person. It reduces the total pool of stocks. Oof. I am glad that wasn't ours. I don't think we could afford to replace that. And yeah. Oh, hey, we got our competition. Here we are. Oh, for Pete's sake, come on. All right, they are rocking a 60 overall quality, so they're matching us. They got a much lower price, but they got that lower quality. I think they went with that El Cheapo, cheap white pine deposit to the north. So they're lacking that. So I think we've got an edge. Let's price them out, shall we? A little predatory pricing never hurt anybody, except our competitors. All right, so range brand, here we go. So brand rating is our total brand points. So you can see that climbing up here. Brand awareness is how much people know about us based on our advertising. Brand loyalty is how many people have bought our stuff and want to continue buying it because they liked what they got. The higher your quality, the more likely you are to get brand loyalty. And if you're doing like the corporate brand and you mix good brands with bad, then you get a case where brand loyalty can actually turn negative. All right, we are not making. Boy, look at those. Everyone sold off my stuff. They saw we got a competitor and they're like, run! Run for the hills! Not that we have cash to play around with for that. In fact, I don't know if we can get into as much of a price war here. We're going to need to turn off our advertising. I know it's giving us a little bit of an edge, but because our advertising is only the 21% concern, spending a lot of money on that is not really going to help us out. Now, we're going to run out of cash here in just a moment, but we can, thankfully, now that we have assets, we can borrow against them. So our credit limit has increased, thank goodness. But this could put us in an early grave. I hope not, though. But Yeah, early competition is definitely taking its toll. And we don't quite have the cash to do that. Now, the nice thing is, now that we've sort of introduced the world to the brand, our brand loyalty can still continue going up as people buy it. And people aren't going to forget the brand that they've already been advertised to. Look, they keep sinking their money. I'm hoping that they starve and they give up. Now, granted, given the game's difficulty setting, that's not a guarantee. Let me see a quantity sold graph. We're pretty much just all evenly splitting the market here. And we are right on the cusp of profit and loss here. But our stock price has properly tanked. We could buy up the rest of our stuff here. Yeah. And like, run. They do not have a lot of faith in us. Tisk, tisk, tisk. And here you guys were running it all the way up to like 19 bucks a share. What? They gave up! They gave up! They gave up! We drove them out of the market, folks! They gave up. And now we only have to compete against a 48, which means we can raise our prices. Capitalism, ho! And now, with our price raised, now our profits raise. Ha 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 ha. We can also afford to go back to advertising so that we can defensively, maybe just some modest advertising. We don't need to go nuts. Yeah, it's oh, and actually, now that we're making money, and I'm not immediately afraid that we're going to go bankrupt, we can buy back our stuff on the cheap. Spend the rest of Pinstar's money here, and then just buy the rest of our own stock here, because it's dirt cheap. And you all are going to be very sad that you just dumped my shares. Maggie Grafton, you stuck with us. You stuck with us, and you're going to make a lot of money till I buy the stocks from you. But even when I buy the stocks from you, you're going to make a butt ton of money. Okay, now let's look at increasing our profits even further. So one of the things that we can do here is notice how the demand graph is higher. Our sales units are not able to handle the load here. So let's give them some training. Remember I was talking about levels before? Each of our workers, each of our units here has a number of workers. They are all in red. As they gain experience, they will turn blue. When everybody in the unit turns blue, the unit as a whole goes to the next level and can handle more goods more quickly. And that will allow us to sell more and more and more. And also, the more they work, the faster they get their experience too, given the proper training. So we'll see here in just a moment. Yeah, our top sales unit hit level 2. Now see how the little things are a little smaller? That means we are processing more beds per tick here. So we're selling faster. And on the flip side, we also need to make sure we are producing these fast enough. So let's get a little bit of training here. Not an exact science, but as you can see, our profit is fine. We're finally in the green. That was a little nerve-wracking, folks. I'm not gonna lie. In a lot of my test games, usually I don't have a competitor dive in to that exact market at that exact time. But hey, a little competition's healthy, and driving them away from the market is also healthy for us. Now then, every good formula here can repeat itself. So here's what we're going to do. So as not to allow our wood-addled competitor to establish toeholds elsewhere. We're going to set up furniture shops in other cities here so we can try and corner the markets. Yeah, it's cheaper to ship the raw wood than to manufacture the goods and then ship them. So what we're going to want to do, but it's going to be more expensive over here. So we'll want to keep that in mind. The other alternative, and this would also keep people from it, is this lovely natural resource over here. We could tap into that and buy it ourselves and start spending stuff from here. Now that we can actually afford it. Well, we can't actually afford it right this second. Right this second, but you know what I'm talking about. Are people still selling my stock? You fools. Fools. Maggie Grafton, I am disappointed. And Iron Industries, you got a target on your back. Actually, we could do a tender offer on them right now for like dirt cheap. And demand $14.47 per share. Oh, $14.47 is dirt cheap. We'll buy this off of you when our base price is low. All right. Well, we got Iron Industries. Let's see if we can get Maggie Grafton's share of our stuff here. Let's see, Maggie. What do you want? You want 15.54? Fine, I'll pay 15.54. This thing's gonna be worth it. All right. Perfect. We have secured 100% ownership of our own company. So the company's wealth is Pinstar's wealth. And we don't need to worry about any more of that shenanigans. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get our cash up a little bit more, and then tap into this higher quality timber deposit, and then start having it start supplying everything else. I think that is the proper thing. What's our bank loan situation? Can we be aggressive about this? Yes, we. It's a little too aggressive. We probably need about 15K in the 15 mil in the bank to get a whole line set up with a timber deposit this expensive, but it's worth it with quality 80. It's the best in the map. Actually, hang on, we don't know that because Vancouver spawned a timber deposit, so we never took a look at this thing. Whoa, 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 stop, 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 stop. What burned down? My factory in Perth. Great. Well, at least we have the cash to rebound from this. Random events taketh, and random events giveth away. One of the other things you can do, thankfully, is you can save plans to this library here. So that way you don't have to constantly manually reset everything else. You don't have enough cash to set up this layout. Oh, lovely. Well, let's go borrowing. That was an expensive fire. I know. Well, I mean, a bed factory, I can see catching on fire. That is most unfortunate. No, I don't trust you to set up purchase links because you might try and buy from somebody else. Because I mean, all that equipment and products, and oh yeah, all the people that worked in there. Lots of people in a factory. All right, let's get you here. People at the store's like, "Where's the beds?" Oh, what are you doing making my sofas? I have a feeling we are not over with our little competition with this rival furniture maker. The beds were just the first battle. The war is still ongoing. all the more reason to save up and buy that higher quality timber deposit. Panic selling ensues. Really? I'm not panic selling nothing. We could tick this up a bit more. Yeah, we're already making bank here. That 1 month where we didn't sell any beds because of the fire. Holy crap. That's like dwarfing everything. But our profits are back in line here. This profit thing should be back in order shortly. But yeah, I think that's our next step here, is to secure that high-priced, high-quality timber deposit, both to keep it away from our competitors. This would be terrible if they got a hold of the 80 quality natural resource here. That would be horrible. So it's both good for us and bad for them. Aluminum deposit, not interested in aluminum. All right, what's our loan situation? I am going to be, oh yeah, no credit limit left still. And I'm not issuing shares, not doing that, no matter how profitable it may be. All right, let's speed things up just a bit more. So there we go. Get that profit lines going. And like I said, I'm going to want to wait till I get about 15 million so I can not only afford the really expensive timber deposit, but also be able to... Why does it say we're like according to our graph here, like barely profitable? We're actually quite profitable for this stage of the game. There we go. It's starting to grow a little bit. I think that 1 month of not profit was so not profitable. It needed to compensate for it. All right, how we doing here? All right, good. I reset the training. So yeah, these guys are going to be a little bit behind. And these guys are already level 4 and 5. That's how much they're working. That's how hard they're working. I mean, this little teal bar down at the bottom is the utilization, so we could technically get away with another sales for now. I keep hearing that. I'll need blacked out for 8 hours. Looters steal a whole bunch of stuff. Lovely. Well, that hurts everybody in the city, not just well, actually, we're not selling in that city, so it doesn't bother us. It just hurts everyone with retail stores. All right, let's slow things down. And hello, the Salmon. Sorry about that. Your name, the color that Twitch chose for your name against the background is hard to read, and I can't click away because this is old school game. But welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Okay, we've got about 16 in the bank. Let us go get our another line of timber, another line of beds going in here, and this time with an even bigger and more beefy, higher quality stuff. Logging camp. Oh, bam! Get in there, logs. It's log, it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's profitable. It's log, it's log. All right, beautiful. Let's drop you down to a 5, just like the others. No problem, no problem. We always got VODs if you miss any part of the stream here. All right, let's do another thing. Factory large, and actually we might have jumped the gun on this, but that's okay. Yeah, we want to get it just outside the part where it costs more. Can we borrow more? We can. Beautiful. Let's borrow more. The bank is our friend in the early game. We'll eventually pay them back. In the meantime, our interest ticks away and the bank's happy, so it works out for both of us. Alright, we will link to our super duper high quality timber here. Dat 80. We'll set the training level already. And let's find a good bright orange spot right in the middle of town to set up shop. How the hell would you pay for premium stuff to build a frickin' farm? The AI is okay in spots, but sometimes not making the wisest of decisions. I know, this game has so many moving parts to it. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Actually, right here on the seaside might be the correct answer here. Yeah, right there. Boom. And we'll do a similar thing. Purchasing, sales, advertising. And what the hey, another sales. Purchase our beds, which we need to adjust their pricing because it doesn't actually cost us $200 and some odd to make them. That's the other reason they're ridiculously profitable. We'll get our training up on here. Let's choose an advertiser. Radio station looks like the correct answer. We'll cut you down to half. We only need a little advertising, right? Yeah, 27% is fine. Let's get our price down there so we can get competitive. Let's set you back up to about $199. Yeah, that's perfect. $199 seems to be the correct entry price point here. And now you want to talk about a little bit of extra complexity. There's more components and ratings to these products that I even haven't covered yet. Like, check this out. So, economic climate is recession. The city is